Well, welcome back to the N-Scale Layout, everyone. This is going to be a stitched together multi-part update video as I go along here. This particular section is December 12th, 2017, 8 days away from Christmas. Going through and laying out the track. I've been buying this track for a few months as I find a good price, have the money saved up, things like that. Decided in the process of all this to just go with a single main. I kind of abide by the KISS approach, keep it simple, stupid, and I think that a single main will just, I don't really plan on, it seems to me like one train would be enough for me to operate at a time. This isn't a big layout, but I don't know, I can always add another main if I want to. So I'm kind of working on this area right here, and it's been reconfigured a few times, and that's one of the things I do like about this sectional track with the ballast, is that you can reconfigure it as you change your mind or decide things don't really work out as good as you thought or whatever. There's going to be areas where I have siding tracks and splits out into two for a while and then combines that back down into one. But this is what I'm working on right now, and I'm trying to keep this area on the right side of the pull-out, so I have a part right here that I can just plug in. I need to probably pull this back just a little bit there. None of this is glued down. There we go. So I don't know exactly for sure what I'm going to do about the track on the pop-out section, if I'm going to actually indeed glue it down. If I'm going to leave it loose, maybe I'll figure out a way to attach magnets to it. I don't know. I'd like to be able to scenery it in such a way that it looks pretty good, but if I do a lot of gluing down and ballasting of the track, it's not going to be easy to detach right here. This period of time, what I'm doing is I've got the track split out into two through here. This is where the grain silo is going to go, at least that's what I'm thinking. That's what I've got this plan. So this is the track that comes over, and the hopper cars will line up behind the grain silo and get their supply of grain dumped into them. This is that Walthers kit, which I have on down there. And that's actually very close to the prototype in Colorado that I'll show you a picture of right now. And this picture is what I'm using to kind of model this area by. So as you see in the photograph of the prototype that I'm kind of basing this all on, there's some grain silos to the side of it. I ordered a Rick's Products grain elevator, which was just silos with the little elevator in the middle and the little tubes, the little, what you call them, the tubes or whatever, that connect to the individual silos there. And I'm going to put that right here. There, the Walthers kit does have a little building, a little office building over here. I may or may not use that. The prototype has a larger building, which I may 3D print something kind of close to that. I don't know yet. But we'll see. In the prototype on the Google Earth, as you can see here in this photo, the track that went behind the silo to dump grain into the hopper cars is no longer there. That was, it looks to me like it was removed or buried or something, but you can see the remnants of the ties. So I think all those grain silos down there in Colorado, as you go from all to none to Eaton, Pierce, down to Greeley there, they're all being fed by truck nowadays. But I want to actually have some kind of a little industry of some sort, and one of many. And so that's what I'm kind of thinking of in this area. Since we've got kind of a dead spot right here, I feel like this area right here makes kind of sense to have a small industry of some sort right here. I am kind of thinking of possibly creating a little highway along here for the cars, and we may also have some other buildings around here to fill this up. So I'm going to have those two tracks come around here, and we'll probably combine back down into one somewhere over here, maybe a little bit further over here. Now, what I'm kind of thinking right now, and this is all subject to change at some point in the future, I'm thinking of having a nice city scene of some sort right here. So a lot of this track right here will probably be hidden with a lot of buildings. I don't know yet what I'm going to put here, but I have those Walthers, aka DPM kits, the whole city, what they call Merchant Row 1, I think. I bought that, and I got some other DPM kits, and a couple other Walthers kits that I bought. I've been acquiring some buildings too, just buildings that I thought looked pretty cool. So those may go over here, but I don't know yet.
December 23rd, 2018. This is the second half of the video. I've got the track laid, at least as much as I can lay at the moment. I've got both lines, or both runs, or what you want to call it, done. Little drone shot, as people like to call this, a drone shot nowadays. Doesn't really make noise, but hey. So I had to order more track, and I got that all the way around there, coming down, and it looks like two mains, a double main line. You come through here, all the way down, go around there. Test out the zoom on this camera. Go all the way down there. See how well this can zoom in just for the fun of it. And not too bad. All the way around there and back under there. Let me get to the other side of the layout here. So I got the track running along the back side of the elevation there. The riser, the Woodland Scenics riser, still held in with T-pins. Come around there, up under the riser. And then we've got the track that's going to serve the grain elevator once I get all that stuff here. I got the Rix Products part of it in, but after I ordered that Rix grain elevator, I looked at the description again, which that came from Midwest Modelers, or whatever they're called. They're on eBay. I know they have another store as well, but it's set on there. Oh, by the way, this doesn't come with grain elevators, or grain silos, I mean. I'm like, really? So anyway, I found some grain silos on eBay for $6, 3 of them. And when those come in, I'll get the Rix Products thing built and put in. Nice little U-boat U-30C Kato. I'm going to do a little bit of weathering to it there. Someone already painted the grills up. He did an okay job. I can work with that. I got this all the way around here. That may or may not stay, I don't know for sure. Might put a road there going into the wall, and it might not, I don't know. Put my little Woodland Scenics Oto building right here, just for S and G's. coming all the way around here, and this actually does work. Believe it or not, this whole thing actually does work. I was a little worried about that. I maybe didn't think about something, but yes, it does work. So I got the steam shop set up here right now as it is. I'm thinking this will probably be a pretty good place for it. I'll have a nice long run of tracks for the yard here. And I've got the switch over here that'll come from the main over into the steam shop. This may or may not, all of this track is it may change, so who knows, but so far it's working okay. I ran the train around it a couple times there. I may move this switch further back. I'm not really sure yet on that, but I'm going to have a switch, and then the rest of this, the entire yard, is going to be my Code 55 microengineering, along with the microengineering switches, and I'm just going to transition from this to that, which shouldn't be a big deal. It should be kind of interesting to see how that works. I will probably take a small piece, the little 2-inch chunk that I have, maybe one of these, not really sure yet, and then I'll use this as a piece to transition to the 55. So what I'll do is I will file this particular edge down to the 55 height. Now there's not much of a difference there. It's very minimal. It's just basically a fingernail's catch worth. I don't know why Atlas decided to make this stuff code 65 instead of 55. I don't know. Someone, I don't know. Someone should have gotten fired for that. Should just be 55. I don't know what the deal is with having these different codes for this stuff. But anyway, that should be easy enough to transition. I don't know yet if the height of this plastic ballast stuff is the same height as cork roadbed, but I'll find out. Regardless, I should be able to make it work anyway. Even if I just have to transition the microengineering down to ground level, which is probably what I'm going to try to do. I may use a Woodland Scenic Riser, the starter, in order to give me a smooth transition down. Or maybe I'll just make it up with foam or something. I don't know. We'll see. That's the idea for this at the moment, is to create a yard right here for the not roundhouse, the steam shop. This is a poster board, artistic poster board or something like that, that Hobby Lobby sells. As you can see, it's got this nice concrete, stone, whatever you want to call it. I bought this to use for the base of for the ground of the steam shop, and it's large enough that I just cut it out and I use this as like the parking lot over here and stuff like that. Concrete around there, and if I decide to print and build the little office building that goes back here, then this will be the floor for that as well. And then I'll just trim this back to wherever I need it to be. But I figured this would solve two birds with one stone, kill two birds with one stone. I get the floor, the cement floor for the steam shop, as well as the parking lot and all this area right here. It's got concrete, and then the real steam shop actually has a little road that comes over here and goes over there and blah blah. May or may not have that, we'll see. I don't know. But one of the problems I had when I did this a year ago was that since that time, this had all bowed up. This is microengineering track that I super glued down. I took the ties out at each, except for the very ends there. And I glued the track, super glued the track down to the board. You can see it's even a little warped still right here. The thickness of this poster board just happens to be exactly the same thickness as the plastic ties on the Code 55. So that's a good thing to have, to know anyway, that this stuff is the exact same thickness as the ties. And I was just gonna, you know, come in here and paint it, weather it, whatever, something like that. But then this thing started turning into a potato chip. As the temperature changed, it started curling up. The whole thing started curling up. So I still got that problem. I know it's going to come back a lot worse than it is right now. I'm probably going to have to find a more permanent solution. I thought about putting this on like a wood back, or maybe I'll glue it to the foam board itself once I am certain that I'm going to actually keep it, you know, on the layout and in this position and things like that. But it is an issue nonetheless. So another thing I thought about with this steam shop when I was looking at it is I think I know where my error is when I printed this building as far as size goes. I think this side, this portion of the building here should be the same as this. These two should be the same width. This one is wider by, you know, a little bit. And I think if I were to reprint this wall and this wall and shrink this up a little bit, that it would be basically more correct to what it should be. But well, I mean, we're only talking maybe 2 inches, an inch maybe out of that, 1.5 inches maybe. I'm not really sure. I'll have to see. But I don't know if it's really worth it or not. This PETG filament came out really stringy, and that's one of the things I don't like about it. I had problems printing that, and I was hoping I would be able to just file that out of there, but I really wasn't able to. So if I was to reprint this, I am going to do it in ABS, because I had really good luck printing in ABS, and plus you can use regular model glue with that too, which is cool. But I need to find the Steam Shop seal that goes up here that they have right there. But anyway, one of the other things I'd like to do with this building is actually have operational opening doors. They make so many small little tiny motors nowadays that it'd be pretty easy to hide a few motors in there, one for each door. I don't know exactly how I do it, but I'm kind of thinking about some sort of a, you know, have a tube or something for each side here that houses a little wire or something that goes up, moves the door up and down. I'm not concerned about it going, you know, back like a garage door would do. I'm just open it, close it, open it, close it, open it. That's fine. Covers up this window, covers up this window. That's fine with me. I think that would be pretty neat to actually have opening doors so I can close them and open them and stuff like that. One of the problems I do have is I need to work on these frogs a little bit. When this locomotive hits those frogs, it really seems to bind itself up. It may just be the locomotive. One of the wheels is probably out of gauge, but I'm going to have to check that. It doesn't do it on every switch, but it does it on most of them. Nice little U-boat, Kato U-boat running around there. Works good. These Inska locomotives run really smooth, really nice, really smooth. So you get to this inner track here. You're having trouble going through that switch, is typical, that frog. That one's not having as big of a deal going through that one. You go through that inner track all the way around, and that goes up the Goes up the little makeshift elevation there. Across the boxed bridge. The picture of a bridge. Then comes back down, and then that becomes the outer track. Just like that. And then when it's the outer track, it'll eventually make its way around through here. All the way around and back to basically where we're at right now. It works pretty good. One of the other problems I have with this Atlas track is that sometimes it's hard to get the joiners lined up right with the rail. See that one, it's hard to keep them so there's no gap in them too. But this one right here, you can see it's out of the joiner. I missed that one. And I've had to go back and fix several of them like that. In fact, that one right there looks like it may or may not be, I can't really tell. But you kind of have to twist the track, kind of put a little bit of twisting pressure to get the rails to seat into the joiners there, to slide into the joiners while you're pushing the two pieces together. That's kind of annoying, and it's easy to miss, as I did with that one right there. So then you got to go through and just undo it, put a little bit of a twisting pressure on it, put it back together. Barb's your uncle. And now we're good to go on that. Here comes our little U-boat down the hill there. Coming to say hi. Gotta get a decoder in this stuff. I've only got a couple locomotives that have decoders in them right now. I have a couple decoders I need to put in the locomotives, but I just haven't done that yet because this is kind of more of a priority to get a loop set up that I can actually test. Sometimes those joiners look like they're up and then they're not, and I don't know. I need to, I bought a big printer and a roll of paper so that I can print my own backdrops. And they're only going to be 11 inches high unless I double it up. But that'll probably be high enough. I really mostly just need to print some hills and maybe some distant mountains, maybe a farm scene, maybe a factory or something, a plant in the distance, maybe some buildings, but I think 11 inches, which is close enough to a foot for government work, will be plenty for end scale. So Tuesday I had placed an order with MB Klein, modeltrainstuff.com, for some more TrueTrack. I didn't order more curves, but I ended up having like 4 packs left over there. It surprised me I bought that much. I may find a use for it somewhere else in the layout, but I had to order some. I bought 3 packs of 10-inch straights and another pack of this 6-inch stuff. Well, I used all the 10-inch stuff. They had more in stock. That's why I got it. So it's the 10 inches, these longer sections right here. I got 3 of those packs and then 1 of these packs, and I used up all the 10s and I got 3 of these left. These are going to go, I'm probably gonna, I had this switch back here. I don't want the switch on the removable section just because of wiring. So now that I've got all this track laid out and I've got these left over, I'm going to put these back over here and get this switch moved back here. I'm going to probably just go ahead and use the Atlas switch control, they call them there. I don't know why not. It's just If I don't like them, I can always put other switches in there later, but you know, I'm thinking I could just mount it right there. And I'm kind of curious as to how much voltage this really has to have, because I'm kind of thinking I probably can run it at less voltage than 12. It's funny, it says AC voltage, and I don't know if these have to be AC or not. That's another thing I'm going to test. But I don't see why not. I can just use these. I mean, they already got them. I could just hot glue it right where, actually just screw it. It came with screws. Screw one in right there for that switch, and then screw them in over there, kind of like what Pfeiffer did with his switches, and just mount them, you know, in the place where the switch basically is. I'd have two of them right there, one of them right there if I leave the switches there, whatnot. I mean, I could just, you know, cover up the wiring pretty easily. Switch right there. I don't know. I'm all about the KISS approach, guys. I'm all about the KISS approach. Some people in this hobby, watching a guy today, made a comment. I'm not going to say who. He does a lot of videos on YouTube, and I do like his layout, his basement layout. But he made a comment about saying, why, I don't understand why model railroads don't spend the money on stuff, why they're so cheap. And I'm like, dude, not everybody has a lavish income like you do in a big basement to fund the big basement of space, and lavish income to fund our hobby. You know, the guy's buying $20 scenic mats, and that's all he uses on his lab is scenic mats. I'm just like, you know, whatever. Kind of ticked me off, that comment. It's an old video, so, but anyway. Yeah, some of us have to save money because that's all we can do to get this stuff done, you know. But I gotta get I need to get the Tomix track cleaner. Imports from Japan. No one in America apparently wants to stock that, which is a real shame. I need to get one of those at least so I can run it around here occasionally and keep this track clean so I don't have to do it by hand. Because once I got buildings up and things like that, it's going to be a little difficult to clean the track. So far the U-boat has really not missed a hitch except through those dang frogs. I'll have to check the wheel gauge on that locomotive. So anyway, back to the MB Klein thing. I ordered stuff Tuesday. They actually shipped it Wednesday, and I got it Friday. I couldn't believe it. Usually it takes those people 3 days to ship stuff, but these were only $10 on there, which I thought was a good buy. Nice Atlas 50-foot box cars there. I got two, one of each different road number there. I've got some graffiti decals. I may have some fun with those. I got some orange cars that are like that too. Nice, plain, you know, just begging for some kind of weathering right there, you know. And yeah, I got another switch, which I've got 4 switches now, so I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with those. So let's see here. The other thing I got, some quilting pins for all the foam. So Walmart didn't have any more T-pins. Apparently the secret's out where to get T-pins. So I got these instead. These will work just fine. This could have some other kind of interesting uses too. I don't know. But those are actually probably cheaper. But I don't know if I'll need them or not. But I may rearrange this a little bit. I don't know yet. So these come in handy for that. And none of this is glued or installed in any kind of a permanent fashion. So it may change. Who knows? The next video I post, it may be completely different. Okay, guys. I'll talk to you later. December 23rd, right before Christmas, and this is where I am so far on this train layout video vlog. Take care, everyone, and peace out.